We the People is sponsored by North Point Bank.
In just 1 month, our country is turning 250 years. 13 on Your Side is celebrating the milestone through our series, We the People. Every week, our Riley Mack will bring you the stories of everyday people who represent America right here in West Michigan. Tonight, we highlight the incredible story of a local leader who went from a cell block to the council chambers.
For his entire life, he has stood before closed doors, before barriers, before darkness. Because before he ever sat in this seat, William Kitchen sat in a prison cell.
21 years straight.
Words are what define us.
I come from the worst titles that you can think of. Inmate, convict, felon.
But William was once defined by a sentence.
I was charged with armed robbery and felony firearms. So I was sentenced to 11 to 40 years.
Charged as an adult. Sentenced as a child.
And that was starting at 14 years old.
14. I was in an overprotective household, and so I started to venture off into the streets a little bit. I should have stayed at home.
But by just 18 years
I
old,
couldn't remember what that felt like.
William didn't know what home was.
Once you get inside of prison, it's a whole different world. You have to adjust and adapt. I became violent. The Michigan Department of Corrections had designated me as a gang leader. So I did an additional 10 years based off of my misconduct and sent me into maximum security prisons, 23-hour lockdown. And I did that for about 16 years. I've spent at one point 2 years just in the hole. There had to be a level of almost insanity just to make it through the day. It felt like every part and every piece of me was broken. I hold myself accountable for the decisions that I made. But if I knew better, I would have done better.
Now 40 years old, William has spent more than half his life
I didn't go to prom, graduation. I just got my first car.
behind locked doors.
I missed all of it.
But wait until you hear what he did when one opened.
One of the greatest moments of my life.
A judge once handed William Kitchen a sentence, but at a 2025 city council meeting, a judge handed him something else.
Surreal.
A seat at the table.
I'm sitting in the conference room of the city council. Keys to the city hall.
Running for city council.
After doing 21 years in prison.
And winning.
Surreal.
Every precinct.
Surreal.
After his release, William mentored at schools across the county.
Try my best now to deter them from the path that I took.
And went back to school himself on a full ride scholarship.
Blew my mind.
Living in a freshman dorm at 36.
While I did have my moments where I felt insecure, not worthy, I still made the best of it. I wanted to learn as much as I could.
He was done serving his time. He decided instead
to say that I'm a city councilman in a city that I love.
To serve his city.
Carry it as a badge of honor.
For years, he was defined by a sentence.
A lot of people who come out of incarceration, they're ashamed.
Today, William Kitchen is writing his own.
It's something that I've allowed to now be my motivation.
With your We the People.
If that can happen for me,
I'm Riley Mack.
That can happen for any one of us.